Today we live in a world where our lives are broadcasted. On a daily basis, we are tweeting, Facebooking, Snapchatting, or Instagramming our lives away. Because of this shift in our constant need of social media and how it connects us to the world, the way we communicate in our interpersonal relationships are shifting also. Don't get me wrong, I love social media just as much as the next person, but according to Professor James Morrison, a faculty member in the communications department who teaches interpersonal communication at Boston College, says that although many, especially students, love the technology they carry in their pockets, they hinder communication by shrinking it to the size of a small screen, and we are being isolated from the world around us while our face-to-face communication suffers. So what does this mean? Basic communication theory focuses on the conversation or face-to-face interaction. A person has an idea that they want to share. This idea is encoded or put into words and transmitted through a channel to one another. The individual decodes the message and encodes feedback, verbal or nonverbal, indicating their understanding. This process is repeated until the interaction is complete. Its overall effectiveness is also dependent on noise and context. Today, many consider Twitter, Facebook, and other social media outlets have forever changed that. People worldwide believe that this communicating mostly through social media outlets rather than face-to-face have altered some crucial element adversely affecting the character and quality of messages being sent and received. Feedback was delayed or simply non-existent. The channel was compromised because it is electronically generated and the context was imaginary. Another communication theory that has been identified as a key component to creating and maintaining relationships is the uncertainty reduction theory. This theory functions to predict and explain how communication is used to reduce the uncertainty among people in their initial interactions. According to the theory, people find uncertainty in interpersonal relationships unpleasant and are motivated to reduce it through interpersonal communication. Charles Berger and Richard Calabrese developed this theory in 1975. They proposed a series of elements to explain the connection between their central concept of uncertainty and 7 key variables of relationship development: verbal communication, nonverbal warmth, information seeking, self-disclosure, reciprocity, similarity, and liking. So, the core assumption of the uncertainty reduction theory is that people want to reduce uncertainty about themselves and each other when meeting other people to increase each other's predictability. The mechanisms by how people exchange information may be limited in social network settings pertaining to the key elements of nonverbal and self-disclosure. For example, a weak point of communicating via the internet, there is an absence of visual cues in most of the cases, which can then lead to miscommunication. Miscommunications and how we interpret them in our interpersonal relationships seem to happen much more frequently because of social networks rather than face-to-face. For example, we now ask, "What was that Facebook status about?" Or, "Did he just subtweet me?" Or, "Why did she just like my Instagram post?" According to an article called Reducing Uncertainty in a Digital World, it argues that a key element to reducing uncertainty is physically interacting and finding out information that way. But today, according to a study done by Westerman in 2008, people use anonymous channels to seek information about less known targets. Social networking sites, for example, give the opportunity to be both identifiable and unidentifiable and are used for seeking information about people. With that being said, the uncertainty reduction theory has shifted in our digital world to Facebook creeping. We seek out information about others in order to reduce uncertainty, not face-to-face anymore by asking questions and getting to know them, but we resort to social media. We stalk people's Twitters, we stalk their Facebooks and Instagram in order to find out as much information as possible. Ultimately, how we cope with new personal interactions has changed because of social media. Research suggests that rather than interacting with a classmate and asking them questions about their background in order to reduce uncertainty and build a relationship, we will resort to social media outlets to reduce uncertainty about a person, completely skipping over small talk and going straight to their Twitter account or their Facebook page, which in turn suggests we are missing out on key interactions and becoming unable to communicate face-to-face anymore. So what's the point? The point is that we need to maintain a balance between our online and offline life. We need to connect with people face-to-face, not just by social media. We need to limit our time on social media and establish real friendships, not just Facebook friends who we avoid eye contact with if we see them on campus anyways. In our busy world of Twitter notification, pokes, likes, messages, Snapchats, and Instagram pictures, communicating can overwhelm the average smartphone user. We need to start craving some real FaceTime and not the iPhone version.